Hello everybody and welcome to Crochet, a Canadian Crochet Podcast. I am your hostess, Claudia. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to start right off the bat. There's crunching noises in the background because the dogs are eating some carrots because they love carrots. So whatever that is that you hear, that's probably what it is. So without further ado, we're just going to power on through and get started on stuff for today. So I had a little bit of a different idea of what I wanted to do this week, and then I was cleaning up and I noticed how many items that I have that are not yet finished. They're all in progress, and then I checked my Ravelry and they weren't updated, so I updated that and I was like, oh, there's like 7 things that I'm working on right now. So I thought I would go through those today. I will have another whips of shame like I had very early on in my videos here, and I will link that up here for you guys to all view because I thought it was kind of funny and I actually powered through all of those. So hopefully this will give me the inspiration to power through these before I start anything else. I'm gonna say this is a report from/to my future self. You're gonna start some new stuff. Just FYI, we know how we roll, right? Okay, so where is it? Everything is in bags or baskets, so it's gonna be all like crinkly and everything like that. So I'm just gonna kind of start with whatever's closest to me. So one thing that I am working on here is a surprise pair of socks. This is King Cole Footsie in the color papaya, and I think that is the perfect name for this. I bought this yarn because when I like wound it up like this, I was like, oh, it looks like a pumpkin, and it was like really fun. But yeah, once you get it going, they're on the couch now eating carrots. So if you didn't hear them before, you'll hear them after. Anyways, so I am using the Bee Hooked Perfect Crochet Sock. I always use that one because I love it, and we're going with this one. I made this one ever so slightly larger because I was using a smaller hook. Well, I shouldn't say I'm making it larger. I have adjusted the pattern, and I have been putting notes into my notes page on Ravelry about this. So instead of a 38 stitch toe box, it is 42. Yes, that's I'm trying to do math on the fly. 42 or 44 with these. I can't remember. I might have messed up ever so slightly. I will have to go in and check at the end. Anyways, then following the standard thing, I am on my foot gusset. Is that what it's called? Increase. So I have, oh yes, I've been putting stitch markers also, and I'll explain why in a minute because I don't typically do it this way. So I have done 5 rows of increase, or 5 sets of increase, and I have to do it again for this, and then I have one more set. Then I do the heel, blah, 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 blah. This one's almost done. I have only got one, as you can see by the size of this ball. This was good for a pair of socks. I am using a Walmart, I don't know, it's like a Susan Bates. So it's a 3.5 millimeter hook for the foot, and then I will be switching for the cuff. I switched to a 2.5 just because I like how that fits better, and I do a front post double crochet all the way around because I like the way that that stretches, and it just fits on my ankle really well, and they stay up, and I like that. So that is one thing that I am working on. I'm keeping it in my very sweet bag here. This was my very first project bag that I ever bought. It was from Michael's, and it was like $2 or something like that. So yeah, you know, all that fun stuff. What else was, oh right, okay, so I think you could see that. I wasn't looking while I was picking at this. So I have stitch markers up the side here. I have 5 of them right now. It's kind of hard to see them on camera, but you can see them very easily IRL. So the reason that I did it like this is typically, sorry, I need a sip of tea. My throat is dry today. We need some rain. Anyway, so the reason that I had done it like this is typically I carry around a little scrap of paper with every pair of socks that I have, and I just use it and use it until there's no more space left. So for this particular section that I'm working on right now, you do 6 sets of the same increase, and there's 3 rows within it. So I would keep this 1 stitch marker typically in this as I'm going around. Actually, well, no, I have 4, but I keep track. So I would have like 6 lines and then 3 like tallies beside each one once I'm finished each of them. But because I was sitting in urgent care with my son while I was doing that, I did not think to pack this little scrap of paper and a pencil. So I just threw a whole bunch of stitch markers in my bag, and I used this, and I just really had to concentrate while we were waiting. So spoiler alert, my son is fine. We're all good. We thought he may have appendicitis or something wrong with his gallbladder. Turns out he just had a really bad GI issue that had him throwing up for 5 days, but he is totally fine now. He is good. He's rocking and rolling. It's like nothing ever happened. So that was good. So yeah, that's that. So pair of socks. The next thing I'm going to grab here, and I have frogged and reworked this so many times. This is the Yarn Bee. I forget exactly what it's called, but again, it's linked to my Ravelry page. In Sage, I remember the color name, and I started out making an Atlas scarf, and then I was just like, oh, you know, like Atlas really works. Like the sample that I have for Atlas, which is the pattern that I currently have for sale, it works really well with fun colors. It looks really great. Like something like this with the Atlas pattern would look phenomenal. I did it in a solid color for the pattern so that you could see what it looks like plain, but I've crocheted Atlas, gosh, a number of times without, and I don't put it on my project page, and I don't know why, but I was doing that, and I was using this Sage yarn, and it's really, really soft. Like, it's almost freaky soft, and it's nice, but I'm going along making it, and I'm just like, you know, like something is not quite right with this. So I just started just kind of noodling around with a series of double crochet, and then V-stitch. That's not quite V-stitch. I think it's called an iris stitch, not Irish, iris, like the flower. Just to kind of see that going. I think I'm going to continue with that instead, but I have plans for another Atlas scarf down the road. This is, yeah, so this will be an end of the year teacher gift, and I am 99% sure that the teacher does not watch me, so. But yeah, so I've done that, and it's got this, it's hard to see on camera here, but it's got this nice little seam sort of down the center just for some visual interest. So that is very beginning started. It's just been sitting kind of for a while, but I would say this is probably my top priority to get done because I have 2 other ones to do as well. So there's that. That's the other one. It's just in this, what is this, Michael's bag from Christmas time. It's old. Ooh, I've had that for a while. The next one is very crunchy bag. Oh, see, I knew I wasn't going to get back to this one, so I wrote the size of hook that I was using on it. Oh gosh, yes. Okay, so one of my top 9 projects is to work on the muscle burl crochet style muscle burl hat. So I've been working on that, and I got started, and I pulled a bunch of stitches out now by accident, so I got to go back. So this is the progress I have made so far. You can see it on camera. Okay. I really go in and look. I love how this looks. I love how this is turning out. Yes, it is a square. I'm not worried. I am using this yarn that is a wool cotton blend. I did not put this into my Ravelry stash page. I also threw out the labels, so I'm gonna have to go back to the yarn store and see if I can find a ball of at least with a similar of this, because I don't remember the content other than it's probably wool and cotton. It's, yeah, the size, like nothing. I don't know the brand, nothing. I don't know, but I really like working with this. It's beautiful. All I remember is I bought 3 skeins of it. And so it's big. We're working on this. This is something that I want to have done for September. So I am not in a hurry to get this done, but it is, I like how it's coming along. So it's nice. It's nice. I sound like Mario. Didn't mean to say it like that. Anyway, so I used, again, stitch markers. So this one is marking the beginning of every row, so I can keep an eye on that. And it's got a bit of a seam. It's not really a seam, but you know what I mean. Like a stitch seam right here. So then it's easy for me to see which side I'm going to be working on. So once I'm finished this increasing section, which I think I'm getting pretty close to, like I know the size of my head pretty well. So when it's round, it's roughly this size before I start just going round and round without increasing. But anyway, so once I'm done that, I'm going to put this stitch marker at the bottom of where I have an increased. So I'm just going round and round, and I have an idea where I've begun. And then also I will be able to follow the lines to do the decreasing part. So that is a part actually that I'm a little bit concerned about, is what the decreases are going to look like, but that's okay. But again, like I'm not in a hurry at all to finish this, but this is something else that I'm working on. While I'm looking around for other stuff, I will mention to you that I have put my waffle blanket into hibernation right now because I'm mad at it, because I thought I was almost done, and then I took it up to my bed to see how much there is left, and there's, oh gosh, I thought I was like 90% of the way done. I was like 66. Hello, Ember. How are you? I said waffle and that made you happy? Yeah, okay, she's gonna hang out here for a few minutes with us. So I don't have the energy to keep working on it right now. So I have it nicely folded up. I've put it in the basket that I had it with the yarn that I intend to finish it up with. And I'm gonna be keeping track of my scraps to see if I have anything additional that I can add in there. I'm actually on the hunt for something something orange. Again, I might hit up Michael's and get, one of those cheap Craft Smart ones just to fill it out at the end. But I was really, really, really disappointed. So I figured instead of being actively angry that I am not as close to being done as I thought I was, I'm just gonna put it away for a while, and I'm gonna pick it up probably at the end of summer because it is big, it is heavy. I've been sweating under it already, so that's not fun. I'm not enjoying working on it anymore, so I need a break from it. So that's why I've done that, and I'm not showing it to you because then I'd have to drag it all the way upstairs, unfold it, and all of that fun stuff. So just imagine it's slightly longer. When I get back to it, or maybe I will feel less angry towards it, I will bring it and I will show it to all of you guys in a future podcast episode. So I don't make any promises when. All I know is that it's hibernating right now. That's all. Okay, moving on to other projects that I actually have here with me to show you. I thought I had more than this. I feel like I'm missing something and I don't know. Oh, I know where. Is it in my bag? Oh no! Did I lose it? I don't have my bag with me. Okay, I thought I was prepared. I didn't do too bad. I had 5 out of 6 projects available here. Okay, next thing is I have several people in my life who are having children, their first children, and it's a very exciting time for them because I remember what that's like. So I have been in baby blanket making mode, which I know it's not that different from waffle blanket making mode, but the baby blanket is so much smaller that I'm just like, I feel like I can rip through that, get her done, and it's easy. So I am making, this one has ended up actually a little bit longer than I intended to, but that's okay. It is using the Pound of Love from Lion Brand yarn. I'm just leaving it in the bag. I'm probably gonna have to go grab another one of these. But I don't remember where I bought it, whether it was at Michael's or Walmart. But hopefully I can find another one. If not, I'll be frogging and resizing it. So that will be sad, but that is what it is. This is in the color Oxford Gray because the person that this one is for, I have my suspicions of what they're having. I don't think they know yet, but that's okay. And what am I doing with this pattern? So I'm constructing this a little bit different. So typically when I make a blanket, I always start at the bottom, we go back and forth, and we go to the top. This one I'm doing a lot bit differently. Starting on the left or right, because this is the same front ways and back ways. So that part doesn't really matter, but we'll just say right to left because that's how we crochet, is right to left. So we're starting on the right hand side and then adding more rows this way. So the blanket is intended to lay this way on the body instead of this way. Like this would typically be the way that I would do this. But the way that I'm doing these stitches, this is a half double crochet herringbone stitch, which I love this. It's sort of like a puff stitch in a way, like that braided puff stitch. It's just fewer iterations of that, but it creates this really, really nice texture, which I absolutely love. So when I'm finished this, you know what? I might have to pull it out. Oh, that's okay. That's a discussion for another day. When I am finished the width, then I'm going in to this is the top and bottom then, and I'm going to add several rows of linen stitch or moss stitch, whichever you prefer to call it. So that's the chain, that is the single crochet, chain, skip stitch, single crochet, alternating like that. So you get that nice toothy appearance. That's what I call it, toothy. I like it. On the ends of this, and I'm going to do, if I have enough yarn, well, if I have to buy a second ball, I'll have loads of yarn, about 10 centimeters on the ends of that. So that is, gosh, roughly like that. Where is my, I don't know. It's about that much anyway. Although, depending on it, I feel like I have to like visualize and see, because I'll know like the ratio that I want based on the size once it's completed. So I haven't, like, my rough idea is 10 centimeters. It could end up more than that. Then once that's finished, we make tassels on the end, and it's the kind where you just get your length of yarn, fold it in half, stick it through the stitches, and then pull the tail, like, so you put it like this essentially, then you stick that through, then pull this and put it back into there. I'm not describing it very well. This is the way I do like lazy tassels because I find they don't come out. Then we're going to do that. Then it will be done. Then it will be a lovely piece for somebody else to enjoy. So that is something else that I'm working on. And, oh, I have two more. This basket's a mess because I keep doing stuff. I can't remember how long ago it was. I want to say at least a year, perhaps 2, that I made a gray Dreamcatcher cardigan, but of course I did not follow the recipe for it the whole way. And I'm doing that again. I'm not following the recipe for this one, so I'm making this one in this very, very, oh my gosh. I have been like looking at this up close and I don't see it, how lovely it is, but oh my gosh, now that I can actually see it through the kid there. But looking at it on camera, it looks, oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. I love it. I love it. The color's not quite my color. When it was in the store, it looked ever so slightly more gray. And now that I brought it home and I look at it in natural light, it's quite bright, which that is not like really my palette, but that's okay. I am fine with that. So this is what I'm working on. This, in my Ravelry project page, I've been good about this one, I linked my center mandala that I've been working on. It's a fairly popular poncho mandala that has been going around for a number of years, and I just thought it was really pretty, and it's got some interest in it, and it was big. That was the thing that I was looking for, was something that was big, because my other one, the mandala is probably 3/4 or 2/3 this size, and while I really, really like it, and the fact that it's decently intricate actually works in its favor. This one is a little bit more plain, so I wanted something pretty big so that it just didn't look like this little mandala in the middle of the back, which I know that's some people's style, and that's totally fine, and I'm not crapping on that at all. That's what I wanted. So I found this. It was big. I love it. I am now working on this side here. So this side's going to get a little bit longer, and then we'll just finish this edges here, and then same thing for this side. So I'm less than half done on this. I'm so sorry. I am very froggy today. And what I am using for this, I forgot to mention all the hooks for the other projects. That's okay. I'm not going to go back now. I am using my Susan Bates. Yep, Susan Bates 5.5mm hook for this. It's bigger, I think, than it asks for. I bought so much. So, oh no, it's actually the right size. Look at that. So I bought this all at Michael's. They were having sale. Each of these was $2, so I got 8, and I spent $16 on this yarn. It is the Soft and Shiny Loops and Threads brand in Robin's Egg. So I feel like that is an appropriate color, but that it's called, it's not quite Tiffany Blue. Tiffany Blue is a little bit more green than this, but yeah, it's really, really pretty. I liked it. It's a nice like turquoise color. But yeah, like, see, like, this is like more my palette. This is not so much, but I'm still gonna wear it. I have the one that I keep at work, and it's like gray, and it's boring for a reason, because at work you have to be like not super crazy, and sometimes I wear brightly colored clothes, and if I had another like brightly colored cardigan on it, I feel like it would just like reduce the level of like seriousness that sometimes I have to have. So I have the boring cardigan at work to be like, okay, like I'm putting my serious cardigan on now. So this one's more for fun, for home, for wherever else. And final project that I would like to say, other than that too, I'm actively working on all of these at the same time, which is bad. Don't do that. In my bag. Oh, which, by the way, a lovely viewer left me a comment on my last video about these little things, the Velcro bits, and they said, which I thought was a good suggestion, is once you snip the yarn off, you can just like trap the yarn there so you don't have to thread it through the hole again, which I was like, that actually makes sense. Because if you just put the very end through here and it gets a little bit ratty, that's not a big deal, because most of the time, at least when I'm crocheting, if I start a new project or something like that, like I leave a good tail, or even if I have to like weave that end in, I don't really have trouble getting all of that stuff, and it ends up 90% of the time chopped off anyways. So I thought that was brilliant. For this project, before I even get started, I'm just going to show you. I am using the basically boy style hook, 4mm, just because I have that right now. Oh, this is ratty looking. Oh, I bet the puppy got it, little bugger. Yeah, so there's that with its little handle. This one, I've had this one for a long time and I haven't worn through the grip yet, but it looks like it's getting there. Use this a lot. So the project, I cannot remember now for the life of me what it is called, but it's got like, it's this really pretty, where are the bits? Instead of trying to describe it, I'll just show it to you. So you make 2 panels, a front and a back like this. And maybe once I show this to you, you might have some dawn of recognition. I feel like I've seen this pattern floating around more recently. So it's sort of like a sun in, what I think looks like a sun. Anyway, I'm not sure if I've done something wrong here because I feel like it's going down on this one more than the other one. This is the back panel. The back's bigger than, oh yeah, that would make sense. The back's bigger than the front. So this is the back, it has this, and then you add like your fun little bits here, and then this is a little sleeve piece that I didn't finish properly now that I'm looking at it. That's okay. So you have that on either side, so that's on the back. Then there's a smaller one for the front. I could have these completely backwards. The back could be smaller than the front. I cannot remember now. All I know is that you make it to a certain size and then you're done. And same thing. So now I am working on the sleeve, and a lot of the pattern that I have seen is like a little shirt. But this pattern, which is from a magazine, Crochet Today in 2007, which I'm like, ooh, that's old. But still, I like it. I found it on archive.org. I will link all of this stuff in the description box below so that you guys can also see it. But now I am working on the sleeve. So I've got this far on the left sleeve, which I'm pretty sure it goes this way. It goes on. I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Or do we put it together this way? No, that doesn't seem right, that my arm would fit through there. I hope that when I make all these pieces and put them together, it will make better sense. But right now I'm just making it piece by piece and treating them each as their own individual project. So, but the thing with this is I've only got this far on this, and I've not worked on it for a couple of days because the instructions are a bit confusing for me on row, what would we be? We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So row 9, it talks about some kind of decreasing, and it does not make a lick of sense to me. So I'm hoping that, you might be able to hear Ducky. I am hoping that if I give myself just a couple of days off and I kind of like mull it around in my head, that I might be able to return back to that, because that's typically how I do things. Is I will receive information and then I have to think about it and then I can action on it, which is not good in spur of the moment, but I mean, that is how I am. So that is that. So I am not very far into this. I was really hoping to have this done already, but I am not. This is that same yarn as the triangle scarf that I'm working on. I'm sorry, my house is super noisy today. But this color is called Ocean, and this color, I think it is absolutely stunning. Totally in my color roundhouse, wheelhouse, not roundhouse. Wow, I'm so with it. But I just love it. I definitely will be putting some kind of lining into this because, like, obviously massively see-through, and on the front, there's no way this is the front. It's so small. You'll be able to see everything through here, and that's not what I want. So I think I have some bed sheets that are old that I can use for such an occasion, but who knows? Who knows? I will figure it all out, right? It will all come out in the wash, as I am very fond of saying. So those are my items that I'm working on, and I have been keeping my a lot of the hooks with my project, so we're looking pretty empty here these days. But yeah, so that was also part of going through and looking at the project pages on Ravelry and seeing if I had them, is because there was one thing that I was going to work on, and I can't remember which one of these it was, and it was something that I haven't touched for a little bit. And I couldn't remember the hook size, so I was like, oh, I'll go check Ravelry, and it wasn't there. And I was like, oh, shoot, what was that? Oh, it was this. It was this one. I couldn't remember because I took like all of 3 days off of it, and I was just like, anyways, so yeah, so I have added all of these to my Ravelry queue in those things that I'm working on right now, the works in progress, and I was a little bit embarrassed to go through that. I was also able to do some housekeeping on Ravelry and get rid of items that, you know, like I have frogged long ago, or that I am reworking, or things like that. So, and then also when I was cleaning up, I found some yarn that I was like, oh, sweet, sock yarn. And I told myself, I'm like, you're not allowed to start anything else until 90% of this is completed, which is hard for me because then I'm like, I can't tell me what to do. And so the closest that I have come to a new set of socks is I bought specific sock yarn, and it's so pretty, is I got out my husband's coffee scale because it has grams down to the 10th of a place, like point, blah, blah, blah. And so I unwound the balls into 50, or not increments, what am I saying? 50 grams a piece. So I know one sock is this much and one sock is this one. And that's the closest that I got. And I put a stitch marker in the one, a white one. I'm going to come back and watch this later. I know that I am, as I'm not going to remember. The white one is the sock you want to use first. I'm telling myself that. I will tell you guys that again, I'm sure, when I get back to this. But I need somewhere that it's documented that the white stitch marker means that ball is first, the black stitch marker is the one you use second. That is the closest I have allowed myself to get to a new project, is to prep that. So continuing on, other things that I want to work on. I feel like this month is so huge because it's like teacher gift month. So I am being what I would perceive as lazy. So I am going to finish up that one triangle shawl or wrap. I'm calling it, I'll just call it a scarf because that is how I intend to use it anyway, or how I intend my wearers to wear it. I don't know, whatever. Finish that one up. I would like to get that done within a week. Hopefully I can get that done. It shouldn't be too bad. Then I would like to complete 2 more in the actual atlas pattern that I have, and prep those to give those away. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on today. I feel totally fine too. That's the weird thing. So I have to finish, because I'm like 5% into this one scarf. Then I need to start and finish 2 more atlas, which I have the yarn for in the basement where I keep my yarn. Then I need to finish this baby blanket, and then I have 2 more that I want to get done. That is going to be a challenge. I think there might be one that I don't know the person as well as the other ones. So that one I'm kind of like, oh, if I don't give it to them, like, it's, to me, it's not the end of the world. And and one person, it's not their first baby either. So I will make them something else. Actually, I'm just going to decide that right now, is that they will get something else that's like maybe a cute little outfit or something like that, or some of those padraig style little booties that they don't have the leather on the bottom. But like, I know what I'm thinking. Those I could get done like that. Those will be done in a day or 2. So that is like my next month planned out in crochet. And luckily all of these items are small, so I won't be dying of heat stroke underneath them, because spring has come with a vengeance, and it has been like 27 degrees for the past several days, which is odd because it was like 4 last week. It was cold, now it's hot, so we have a hard time adjusting to that. Yeah, so scarves first, that is my main goal. Then the baby blankets and baby accoutrements next. Then after that, I will take, and also I'll be like working on the socks while that is all going on as well, because that's what I do. I always have like a bag project that I put in my backpack or my purse, like these socks. So that is my bag project, so because it's small. Oftentimes though, I will start a project, and once it just sort of gets too unwieldy, it becomes no longer a bag project. But that is something that I'm working on. So that will be working on concurrently. Baby blankets. Then I'd like to finish the dress. Then I would like to finish my cardigan, because I would like to have that for camping season, but I don't feel like that's realistic. That might become my I'm taking this camping project. And then I think that will probably finish out the summer actually for me, for crochet projects this year, which I'm kind of bummed out now that it's all planned out, but hey. All right, so this episode is quite long enough, so we're not going to get into much else. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad that you decided to spend some of your time with me, and give this a like and a subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of every time that I upload an episode. You guys are all so special to me. I'm so glad that we are in each other's lives. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and take care. And you know what? Tell me what you're working on. What are your summer plans for your crochet and knitting projects this year? Bye.